have a wonderful exhibition this afternoon of the number 4 ranked team in the country, I guess now, Jeff.
Correct, yeah. We're having a great season so far.
How many All-Americans? You told me before. 3?
3 All-Americans.
3 All-Americans, so that means they're in the top 6 in the country in their particular event, doesn't it?
Right. Steve Scheckman, which is one of the All-Americans, is a ring specialist, and last year he was an All-American. Then Mark Splina and Donnie Hinton are All-Americans on floor exercise and vaulting, respectively.
So those 3 people we should look for. Anybody else that we should look for today?
Jeff Beeson is one of our top all-rounders, and he's been doing really well, and he hopes to break into the national elite scene, which means you have a chance to try out for the Olympics in 2 years.
You have a fairly young team. Are you likely to be as strong next year as this year?
Yeah, we only have 1 senior leaving, and so next year we'll be right in there.
They're doing better than others.
Yeah.
Giving Nebraska and those folks a run for their money, I'm sure.
Yeah, we hope to, definitely.
That'll be awfully nice. Let's take a look down at what's happening right now. Is this just a warm-up procedure we're seeing here?
Yeah, we just do it for fun. We use this table and workout once in a while, and this is called a mini champ that they're bouncing off of. And that's how I injured myself, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I hit my foot into the frame and I cracked it. Right now they're doing front somersaults, just like a big forward roll in the air. And you can do different positions on the front. When you bend your knees, it's called a tuck, of course.
Are some of the women we're seeing there, are they members of the ASU's women's team as well? Huh?
Right. They just had a meet last night where they competed against U of A and Stanford.
They have a great record this year too, don't they?
Yeah, they're doing fantastic. They just beat the national champions 2 weeks ago.
Is that Utah, was that? Yeah.
Yes. So they're really
This must be great fun for the participants today because of the crowd here. This is a good crowd, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, they love it. They love to come out and perform in front of the crowd.
Well, the crowd is very appreciative. You were watching the skydiving, I know, before, and you said that was very impressive. But I think the crowd is going to be just knocked out by this exhibition today.
Okay, this is a double front with a half twist. It's a real difficult trick, and they call it a flipless. That's a front flip with 1.5 twists. John Spini is our women's coach.
Oh, is that right?
He likes to jump in there once in a while and do his stuff.
And your coach, Don Robinson, is sitting right at the end of the mat there, and he's announcing each of the fellows and where they're from.
Right.
As they do their jump.
And later on, he's going to join in with the gymnasts and participate a little bit and do some stuff.
I bet the gymnasts will have fun with him when he gets out there and shows his stuff, huh?
They do. He does a little hand bouncing routine with Sean Cooney. Double pike somersault. It's really difficult. It's a real blind trick because when you're coming down, you don't know where the mat is. So you have to do it a lot and get the feet in. Hopefully it falls in there.
Are most of the participants on your team from within the state of Arizona, or are a lot of them from all over the country?
We have a pretty good mix from all over the country. We have a few from Chicago, a few from Pennsylvania and Delaware, and then some from Arizona. So we just got a good mix of gymnasts from all around the country.
What events are we going to see today in this exhibition now as they get ready to move into the actual demonstration?
Well, I think right now they're going to start with a little tumbling, and then they'll move into pommel horse, which we're seeing right now. And then they'll do the rings, the power bars, and the high bar. That's all the events we normally do in a competition.
Don just mentioned that the conference championship is next weekend, next Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks away. It's March 12th.
March 12th,
yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be here at ASU?
No, it'll be at Stanford.
Oh, it will, okay.
And that's a tough competition for us because we're competing against UCLA, and they were second last year in the nation.
And they're strong again this year, too.
Yeah, very strong. They had Peter Vidmar on the team, who was a Olympic team member in 1980. Of course, he didn't get to go to Moscow, but he made the Olympic team.
This is Scott Kazel. He's from Illinois. He's been doing a great job for us.
Now, this is the pommel horse we're seeing right here.
Right. The main objective of the pommel horse is just to keep your routine going and not to break or stop on the horse, because every time you stop, you lose 5/10. And you start from a 10, possible 10 on the event. And then as you go through your routine, the judges will take deductions for form breaks, and if you also don't have the required skills.
Every event, and he works every event equally well. He scores a 55 points out of our possible.
It's a good shot.
Strength and agility in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, and also a lot of concentration.
This is Don Hinton.
This is one of the tough ones. This is when you got to really keep your cool. You can't be too aggressive, else you just come right off the horse.
Just Friday night. Don Hinton. This young man can work many events.
This is called the Thomas Flare. It's named after Kurt Thomas. It's really
Kurt was
impressive.
excellent at this. Was this his best event? I think it was. Wasn't
Yes,
it? He
it
was
was.
just wonderful
He
on the
really
pommel
knows how to
horse.
ride that because he's.
Does Kurt still work with you folks? I know he did for some time, the team.
Currently, he's on the United States Professional Gymnastics Tour, where he's doing really well. He still lives in Arizona, and I understand that he's coming back in March, and he's going to be working out again with us.
Terrific. I bet that's useful, isn't it, to have someone with those kinds of skills around. You're a very nice fellow as well.
This is Bill Soper from Illinois, working in the middle of pommels, back up the pommels. A very different. Try that again, Bill.
Lost his balance there and slipped off.
Right.
Down and down. And
That's a
way
tough
down.
trick. He's trying to do a circle without the pommels. You got to really push your body above the pommels so you don't run into it.
He says nuts.
This is Scott Kazel. Scott's from Chicago, and he's a transfer from Ball State. He's been doing really well for us this year on the team. He's been competing on 3 events.
University of Arizona has a student team?
They just dropped their men's program last year.
Oh, did they really?
Yes.
They don't have a men's program.
But their women are doing pretty well.
1 year to learn circles. And it is a very difficult skill. We'd like to show you.
This is Bruce Barkley. He's the captain of the team this year. And he has a brother, Scott Barkley, who's one of the outstanding gymnasts from ASU.
Team captain.
And
Bruce Barkley.
all right, Bruce.
I noticed the wrists are wrapped. Is that for added strength,
Right, added support.
added support? Because this puts a lot of pressure on that joint, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's a new
because we must spend
trick.
close to 2 hours a day on our hands alone, just with the pommel horse, the parallel bars, tumbling, and the wrists get a lot of strain, so we try to protect them as much as we
9.5
can.
on the pommels. You notice he was on the pommels and off the pommels.
This is Donnie Hinton. He's one of our top performers on the pommel horse this year. He's been scoring 9.5s.
Oh, there. You see the height. He has that Kurt Thomas sort of height to the legs and so forth. That's what Kurt was so
He
strong
has
at.
to pick up the circle action again.
What really helps on that is your flexibility. If you're real flexible in the legs, you can really bring the knee right up to your nose, and it looks really impressive. The judges like it too.
John, wait just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, John is really shy. Would you convince him to show you how hard a circle is? Just applaud now, because I know you won't want to later.
Don is running a great commentary down there for the crowd here. Don Robinson, the coach of the team, and he's having great fun. And this looks something like the way I might do it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can see why he coaches our girls' team.
This is the women's coach. Yeah.
Right. Me and John have a little bet going. He says that if I can teach him how to do 10 circles by April, he will give me $25. We'll see if that one comes true or not, but we're working hard on it. Here's that Thomas Flare again.
Yes,
you watch
there
how
it
the left leg,
The leg right up close to the chin there. Yeah.
right, and the right leg comes right up to the chest also. This is called a scissor, and you can see the scissoring motion of the legs. It's a requirement on the pommel horse.
Aisha.
And he's getting a suntan at the same time. Beautiful day for a suntan out here.
Yeah, it really
There's
is.
you get an idea of the crowd watching. This is a wonderful way to perform with an audience like this.
Great motivation. I'd love to be out there.
Steve Isham, our assistant coach. Now, to finish off this exhibition, we're going to put 2 people on the pommels at one time.
Okay, what they're going to do now is they're
Because one guy's feet
going to put 2 guys on the pommel horse at one time. And here we go. These are called loops. It's really dangerous there. Oh, he lost.
Thank you very much. Now,
It's one good way to get a nosebleed real quick.
so we get a few volunteers.
To coordinate
So
that
we'd
very
like
well.
to see if we got at least one volunteer today. Oh, we got a volunteer. Stand up right over there. Now, we break up our shows in a little bit of balance, and I'm going to turn this over to John Speedy, the coach of...
What we'll do now real quickly is share some of the thank yous. We have lots of them, of course, as part of the 8th grade fair. We want to thank the New York Express. They were one of our center stage musical performance groups today. We want to also thank the Phoenix Baptist Hospital for providing the medevac helicopter for emergency use, and that just took off a few moments ago. Maybe you heard that in the early part of this exhibition. The Phoenix Medican Transportation Corporation, and they were providing ambulance service for any emergency care that we might have today, and I think we've gone without using that, which is always pleasant. Also the Salt River Indian community for permitting the use of their land for emergency hot air balloon landings. The Salt River Project for donating the vests, and these are the sort of glow-in-the-dark vests that we're able to be for all of our on-site volunteers to wear so they can be spotted rather easily. Also, Scottsdale Memorial Hospital for providing first aid stations and other emergency services. The Sun Country Model T Club for their part in the antique and classic automobile display. Valley National Bank for providing arrangements for special banking services. And of course, the Volunteer Friends of Channel 8 for providing people-powered that manned the booths out here and assisted with many of the events and other activities that we have here. Those are just some of the folks, some of the hundreds of people that have been involved working on this project for months now, and we very much appreciate them making this day such a success.
Can you believe that?
Okay, right now.
Okay, what's happening down here?
Coach is trying to get the crowd involved, and they really like this because he really digs this part of the exhibition.
Now, that amazed me. I'm
Been
serious.
doing
He's doing a little recruiting, I think, is what he's doing. He's trying to find some stars of the future. Go ahead.
But he's been doing ham bouncing for about 10 years. And just last year, him and Sean Cooney were the bronze medalists in the National Sports Acrobatic Championships,
Is that
which were
right?
held at ASU. So he was real excited about that.
I would encourage all of you to go to the Desert Devils Classic next Saturday night.
Well, he's found a young gymnast there who's been part of this exhibition with him.
These beautiful young people. Saguaro High School, 7:30 next Saturday night.
What will be coming up next? Do you know what the next event is that we'll be seeing?
Most likely it'll be rings. The rings is a real exciting event because that's where you got to have a lot of strength. And you'll see some neat moves like an iron cross where the rings are held out horizontally.
In an actual competition with another school on the rings, how many of your participants can actually be in those events? Can you put in as many people as you want? Are you limited to 3 or 4? Or?
Okay, we're limited to 5 people.
5 people
on the
per event. Okay.
And then we can only carry 10 men on the team. So what we usually do is we have 2 people who will compete all around, and then the rest, 8 of the guys will compete 1, 2, or 3 events.
This is another Sean. Okay. Don amazes me. He loves working with young
And when
kids.
judges look at a routine, what they're looking for are what we call A, B's, and C's. And that's the way they categorize the skills. A being the easiest skill, and C the most difficult. And you have to have so many C's and so many B's in your routine in order to start from a 10,
He invites all the
which is the highest possible score you could get.
We'll be back with more of the exhibition in just a moment. Let's go down to Ted Simons now. He has another interview for us. Ted?
Okay, Joe, I'm sitting here with Bruce Barclay. He's the team captain of the ASU men's team, and Bruce, it's got to be kind of exciting with all these people watching you out here in the sun.
Oh yeah, we've done a lot of shows, but we've never done one with all these people, and it just gets us psyched up, and it's really exciting. It's never seen this many people at one place before doing gymnastics for all these people.
Does it make a difference out here in the sun and the heat? I know gymnastics is an indoor sport.
Oh yeah, I've never really worked in this heat before, but you get warmed up a lot quicker, and you can't really, there's no reference to ceiling or anything, so you just gotta, it's kind of a new experience to work outside.
I know there are a lot of budding gymnasts out there. How did you get started?
Well, I got started when I was in grade school, like in 8th grade, but I really seriously started in high school when I was a freshman, and I had a good coach and just motivated. My brother was on the team, so I was excited to join gymnastics, and that's about it.
These guys out here, they look awfully good, awfully talented. How good is the team this year?
Oh, we're the best we've ever been since I've been here. It's my 4th year here, and we're about 3rd in the nation right now. We got the 3rd highest score, and we're doing really well. We've lost a couple meets, but we've lost against the best team, so we're doing really well.
Okay, just out of curiosity, what are these things on your wrists right there?
Well, these are a special kind of ring grips that you just use just for the ring event, and they have a special dowel in them to help you stay on and do more difficult tricks than used to be done a couple years ago, and they're just fairly new grips, so keep your hands so they don't rip up and things.
Now, are you allowed to use those in competition, or is this just for practice?
No, we are allowed to use it in competition.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bruce, and congratulations. Nice show. You're giving the crowd quite a scene out here, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Okay, back to you, Joe.
This really reminds me, this really reminds me of the Olympics here, and we have with us right now Dr. Max Averin, and Dr. Averin was the chief medical officer for the Canadian Olympic team from 1960 through 1976, and is involved right now as chairman of the 5th World Congress of the International Association of Olympic Medical Officers. And this looks like the Olympics for the crowd we have out here today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, it sort of reminds me of that.
Right.
Do you have any good ideas for sunburn? That's a silly question, I guess. I know I'm going to need answers to that question.
Well, that's one of the problems we have to look out for at the Olympic Games.
Oh, is it really? I bet it is, isn't it? Because they're all participating out in the sunshine and so forth.
But the athletes are all warned beforehand to stay out of the sun as much as possible.
You know, we chatted about it a little bit before, but maybe you can tell us more about this very exciting event that's going to be happening in our country in early June this year.
Yes, this is going to be the 5th World Congress that we've held. The International Association of Olympic Medical Officers consists of present and past Olympic team doctors from all over the world. This will be the first meeting in the United States. We meet every 4 years. We have a World Congress every 4 years at the home of the next Olympiad. Now, the next Olympiad is going to be in the United States in 1984 in Los Angeles. Therefore, we're having our next Congress in the United States. As I am the closest member to Los Angeles, living in Scottsdale, we're going to have our meeting in Phoenix.
That's terrific. That's an awfully nice thing to bring to Arizona, isn't it?
We'll have most outstanding speakers on sports medicine from all over the world. They're all experts in their field.
It's a wonderful sharing of information because it is indeed an international event. You'll be able to share your ideas and sort of pick the brains of other people from other countries who are sort of advancing ahead in the technology of medicine.
That's one of our functions, is to have an exchange of international knowledge in order to enable the medical and paramedical support staff of all international teams to be up to date and provide the utmost in medical care for these athletes. We have speakers coming from Russia, East Germany, West Germany, Austria, Finland, England, as well as the United States and Canada.
That's terrific. It's going to be a wonderful event, and I'm sure it's going to be very valuable to this country to have it in this country this year.
I would say so.
I should remind you that this is KAET in Phoenix, and you're watching Channel 8's Great Fair, the 4th annual Great Fair, and it gets bigger and better every year. There's still time for you to come out and enjoy the festivities this afternoon. We have lots and lots of people here. A gymnastics exhibition is going on right now with the Arizona State University's men's gymnastics team, and they're just terrific. Have you been enjoying the exhibition? I know you've been watching it.
I have, yes. Very interesting.
These are some wonderful athletes also. I understand that 3 of the boys participating today are All-Americans this year, and we may very likely see some of these folk in the Olympics.
Los Angeles, 1984.
That's right. They'll probably be very well out there again. Will you be participating in those Olympics?
Well, I'll be involved with our international association. We'll be helping a lot of the countries that will be participating and are too small a contingent perhaps to have their own medical or paramedical staff. We'll provide staff for them. We'll provide equipment and facilities and so on.
Okay. You mentioned before that when you were involved with the Canadian Olympic team that it was voluntary on your part. Did you actually help a variety of athletes in different sports train to become better at their sports and to also avoid injury, I'm sure?
Well, I don't get involved in their training or coaching, but I am and have been involved in the prevention of injuries and maintaining the utmost in health, because if they have the slightest injury or illness at the time of the games, they don't get another chance.
For 4 more years, yes, it's a long time.
Even 4 years, they may not.
That's right, they may be too old or whatever. Yes, that's right.
A very difficult task to prepare yourself for 4 years and then again for another 4 years. It's a great sacrifice for Olympic athletes to stay in shape and be able to compete in more than one Olympiad.
We just saw a performance by Bruce Barkley, the captain of the Arizona State University team, and he was mentioning they're having their best season ever. They're, I think, number 4 in the country right now in terms of their ranking, and that's awfully good. I think the other teams, a lot of the strong teams, of course, in gymnastics are coming out of Nebraska and Iowa State University and Oklahoma at this time, but Arizona State has consistently had strong teams, and now in the Pac-10, I think they're better than ever. This is, as we watch what's happening here on the still rings, that's a real difficult event, isn't it? That's probably one of the most difficult gymnastics events.
Gymnastics generally requires a great deal of skill, perhaps more so than any other Olympic event. Still, it requires a lot of skill, coordination, flexibility, concentration. It's a great sport.
In terms of all of the ingredients of athletics, would these be some of the best athletes, do you think, who would be involved in gymnastics?
I would say so.
Basketball, yes, I understand, too. The athletes there are quite strong because they have,
the United States has always done well in basketball.
Right.
But really, the United States has not done that well in international gymnastics until Kurt Thomas came along.
Right.
And I think he has been a stimulus to a lot of other potential international gymnasts.
Why is that? Is that because we don't have many people participating, or we're just not drawing our best athletes into gymnastics?
Well, I think Americans tend to going to sports that have a professional opportunity later on in life, and those are mostly the glamour sports in this country. Whereas in other countries, gymnastics is one of the glamour sports, and therefore more athletes go into gymnastics in other countries than they do in this country.
That's right. What new events will be in the Olympics in 1984? Am I hearing that tennis is going to be added?
I think tennis, I'm not too sure now whether it's going to be an official event, but it will be an event in the 1984 Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Any other new ones being added?
Not that I know of at the moment. I was thinking that there were a few people around here that are water skiers. That would be a good Olympic event. It's strictly an amateur event, an amateur sport, and it would be a good event for Olympic Games.
We just had an interesting, maybe, I don't know if you saw or not on the monitor here, that fellow just did the Iron Cross and held it out there for a count of 20.
No, I didn't.
Not easy. That's not easy.
No, you have to have great strength as well as great skill to be a good gymnast.
That's right. Don Robinson, the coach of ASU, just kidded that just ended his career. Probably pulled his shoulders right out of the sockets out there.
Well, it's a great sport and a great physical activity, but it's limited in the number of people that are able to participate in gymnastics because of the great skill required, the tremendous intense training.
Here we have in slow motion, we can see the Iron Cross and the strength that takes.
Back to a handstand, then he decides to do a swinging trick called the giant.
Tremendous strength and agility necessary here, isn't there? And those rings are constantly moving. You really have to hold control of those, too.
It requires a great deal of strength.
Double with a twist, a half in, half out, a full twisting double.
I think the United States is going to do well in gymnastics in 1984.
That's good. That'll be nice. I know there's some awfully fine athletes that, especially the University of Nebraska now has 2 or 3 fellows who are expected to do very well in '84. And I'm sure some of these boys from the ASU team are going to be participating at that time.
I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be awfully nice.
A half in, half out. Flip the goal.
Perfectly executed.
Beautifully. This is all part of Channel 8's Great Fair, coming to you from Fountain Hills this afternoon. We've been here all day long with a variety of events. This particular event is an exhibition with the Arizona State University men's gymnastics team. Large crowd of, well, we've estimated earlier, close to 30,000 people here altogether. There are probably 8,000 or 10,000 right around the mats here watching this exhibition. Jeff Nepper, when he was here before, a member of the team, indicated this was probably the largest crowd that the gymnastics team has ever performed for. Very large crowd. Right. And they're doing very well. He said they were all psyched up for this. This was going to be a wonderful event for them. They perform often at ASU, and it's easy to come out, get tickets, and get fine seats to watch this. It's a wonderful event, and they have many dual and triangular meets with some of the best gymnasts in the country coming right into Arizona State University's Activity Center.
Followed by a giant swing.
We had talked before a little bit, Dr. Averin, about general physical fitness. Everyone can't be a competitor and be involved in races and so forth probably very easily, but they can certainly keep a good physical tone and good mental health through physical fitness, can't they?
Well, I don't think that competition is necessarily beneficial to everybody. There are a lot of people that should avoid competition. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that have cardiovascular conditions often ask me whether it's safe for them to go and golf. And I usually tell them, well, as long as they're going to play and not count their score and not compete with anybody, it should be all right.
The competition could just add more stress, couldn't it?
Yeah. Emotional stress is very important in some people with abnormal medical conditions.
You were mentioning earlier when we were chatting as well that running in place is an awfully good exercise.
That's right. It's a good exercise, and you can establish whatever workload you want in running on the spot.
And the same was true of walking. I mentioned that to be a very good one thing we might not consider exercise, but a very good way to...
So you can start people at almost any age group and at any level of fitness, health-wise or physically or mentally, start them at any workload and then gradually work up without any risk.
If you don't do much exercise, diet even becomes more important, doesn't it? You should, folks should eat well, because that seems to be one of the things that will tear down your body, at least my body, very rapidly. When I'm not eating well, I know it. I feel it all over mentally and physically.
Well, there are thousands of different diets available here in the United States, and it's hard to select one that's better than others. But I think the main thing about Americans is that we eat too much fatty foods, we consume too much alcohol, we drink too much coffee, we consume too many carbohydrates. That's the basic faults in our nutritional habits. But there's no reason why anybody in this country should have any nutritional deficiencies unless they have some abnormal health condition.
I'm seeing more and more of a trend, and maybe it's as people get more physically active, that folks seem to be eating better. I notice more health food restaurants. I notice bigger health food sections of supermarkets and more nourishing foods and less people, maybe it's just the people that I'm dealing with in my day-to-day life, but less people eating things that would be basically bad for them.
Well, I think people are becoming more conscious of better eating habits and are trying to observe better eating habits, but it's not easy for some people. You know, people that have certain metabolic conditions, people are born with a certain number of fat cells, and people that have a great number of fat cells from birth, it's very difficult for them to restrict themselves to a healthful diet.
He went to Central High School?
Well, that's fascinating stuff. I think the whole area of physical fitness and good diets and so forth, as we get older, as I get older, certainly it becomes more and more important to me because I feel it can enhance my life and make me feel a lot better in the future. I appreciate you being with us here and chatting with us this afternoon, now and earlier when you were on. We want to go down now to Ted Simons, and he has an interview for us. Ted?
Okay, we've got the man here who electrified the crowd with those beautiful routines out there, Steve Scheckman. Steve, you're an Arizona product. How'd you get started?
Well, I started at Sunny Slope High School, and I was interested in all different kinds of sports, but my height obviously kept me out of basketball and football. So I tried gymnastics, and it stuck. I was pretty successful at it. And it's been 8 years now, and I'm still having a good time at it.
Was it a club or a school activity?
It was at Sunny Slope High School in North Phoenix. As I graduated in 1978.
Okay, when you were out here doing your routine, trying to go for the record with the stopwatch, and the crowd was starting to cheer, could you feel it helping you on?
Sure. I think all gymnasts have a little bit of show-off in them. That's why they join the sport to begin with. And having a big crowd makes a big difference. At our gymnastics meets, when we have a big crowd, it's obvious that our scores are a lot higher. And it's just a lot more fun to be in the sport.
So the crowd maybe offset the heat factor?
Sure. Definitely.
Okay, what do you see for your future? Maybe a little Olympic activity?
No, unfortunately, in the Olympics, they only invite all-around gymnasts, and I'm just specializing on the still rings.
Okay, but so you're not going to really try to work too much on everything, just try to be an expert on the still ring.
Right. That's plenty for me.
Okay, well, you did a plenty good job, too. Steve Scheckman here, and Joe, let's go back to you.
I think the final show...
Ted, thank you. We're back up here once again, and things are going very nicely here. The crowd is having a wonderful time. Jeff Nepper has joined me once again. Did you go down and give those boys some encouragement? They don't need any encouragement. They have a good crowd here to encourage them, don't they?
Yeah.
They seem to be having a wonderful time. Just a wonderful time with it.
Just being outside and not inside a gymnasium and working out.
Ted was just mentioning in his interview that the heat could be a factor out here today, but they thought maybe the enthusiasm of the crowd is going to pump enough adrenaline in that nobody's going to worry about the heat.
Yeah, yeah. They're so excited, they don't care.
Most of the gymnasts certainly are used to performing inside because it's primarily a winter sport and you work out of gymnasiums almost all the time, so this is unusual to be outside, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. They have one meet in the fall time in Santa Monica. They call it the Santa Monica Gym Fest. And you compete right there on the beach in the sand and everything, so it's a really neat atmosphere, and the guys always go down to it when we have the chance.
Do you have any unusual characters on your team? Are they all unusual characters?
Yeah, we have some that are quite unique in their own way. Bruce Barkley, this guy, he's really funny.
He was good fun. Ted talked to him a few minutes ago. He was very enjoyable, yes.
He always keeps some humor in the gym.
Now watch the next one. A French called to a...
That hurts once in a while.
Ouch.
It is difficult to work out.
Now, these are the parallel bars. Can you tell us a little bit about this? What kinds of skills are necessary here to
well, we have a lot of
success?
swinging tricks where they start in a handstand, which is the inverted position. They'll swing down, and then they'll do a half turn into another. Just do a back somersault into a handstand, And that's mainly what you're looking for. And then a big dismount, usually a double back somersault.
Bruce's problem there was missing, one of the turns, missing the bar with his hand, wasn't it? Or,
right, he was doing a front somersault. And when you're coming down, of course, you're blind to the landing. And so sometimes if your hand's just a little off, you'll miss the bar.
Do the women gymnasts do these same events? I know they have a balance beam, which is something the men don't participate in.
No.
And they don't use the pommel horse, do they?
No, not at all. They compete on the balance beam. Floor exercise. Their floor exercise is different than the men's in that they use music. And they dance with the music and tumble at the same time, whereas men do not have any music.
That's right, they do it to music.
The other two events are vaulting and the uneven parallel bars.
That's right, the uneven bars, too.
One thing that's kind of interesting is in our gym, we have what we call pits. It's like a 6-foot hole in the ground, and then we fill it with foam. And then we put the equipment right next to the pit, and we can practice our dismounts, we can practice tricks that we've never done before into the pit, and so that when you fall, the foam breaks your fall and you can't really hurt yourself.
So you can be a little risky, not worry about landing on your feet, huh?
Right, right. It's a great learning tool.
The swinging turn.
Jeff, what is your event? What do you participate in when you're healthy?
I do all around. I do all 6 events.
Do you have one that I'm sure every all-arounder has one or two that they feel stronger with than the others?
Yeah. Right now, usually floor is my most outstanding event. Believe it or not, it's kind of funny sometimes. It changes on what event you like. It seems like you go through periods where you're doing really well in one event and another event's kind of lacking, and that event will start picking up again. And so your likings kind of adjust. So if you can just keep a general attitude, towards all the events that you really like them on, and just work your hardest.
Yeah, it's sort of the decathlon of gymnastics, isn't it? I mean, you're really participating in everything. We're going to go down once again to the exhibition area with Ted Simons. Ted?
Okay, Joe, I've got Scott Kazel here, another member of the ASU men's gymnastics team. And Scott, you were from the Chicago area.
Yes, I am.
Okay, how'd you get started?
Started in the American Turners in Chicago with my parents. My parents were both gymnasts, and they kind of pushed me along toward that way. And I came out here 2 years ago from Madison Trail High School in Chicago.
Okay, what is your area of expertise?
High bar, mostly. I excel there. I work everything, but my best 3 are floor, high bar, and vaulting.
So in terms of practicing, do you try to hit each event the same amount of time, or do you have about 3 that you really concentrate more on?
Right now, I try to hit them all at the same time. Just in case anybody gets hurt on the team, I can step in anywhere.
Okay, I noticed that your grip is not on your wrist. What happened there?
Yes, that's the reason why I'm not throwing high bar now. Last night, we had a meet against University of New Mexico, and in the meet, my high bar grip tore, and this adds a little more danger, and so I decided not to compete or perform in the show today.
That's another factor that people may not realize. It must get kind of scary sometimes if they're doing some of these triple flips and all these kind of things.
Yes, especially if your grip is torn, you can release the bar at any moment, and that adds a lot of excitement or scare.
If you have, I'm sure every gymnast has a bad fall once or twice, is the best idea just to get up there and do it again?
Yes, exactly. Get up there and get that fear away.
Okay. Well, good luck, Scott. Thanks for talking to us. Joe, another ASU gymnast. Back to you.
Great. Thank you, Ted. We have an announcement to make, and a lot of people were especially interested in the bicycle race earlier today. There is another bicycle race coming up very soon. It's the 5th annual 2030 Phoenix Criterium Bike Race, and it's going to be held on Sunday, March 28th. That's about 1 month from today, and it will be from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Arizona State Capitol Building at 17th Avenue in Washington. So if you're interested in seeing another bicycle race in person, this is another one coming up, very similar to the one that we saw today here, and that's one you might want to attend as well. I'm with Jeff Nepper, and Jeff is an injured ASU gymnast right now, and we've been watching and enjoying the gymnastics exhibition put on by the ASU men's team up to this point. We have, 2 more events, I guess, coming up, Jeff, huh?
Yeah, they're the most exciting events, so we're going to have a good
Save the best till the last, huh?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about those.
Well, one thing we're going to do is we're going to try to put as many people as we can on a table, and the table is about 3 by 4 feet, and we've done this a couple of times. As a matter of fact, we've been on That's Incredible for it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
Well, this happened a year ago, and Coach got in touch with the people from That's Incredible and said, we got this event, would you like to come out and film it? And they said, sure. So what they did is we held in the activity center, and they publicized it in the school newspaper so they could bring a lot of people in, get a little bit of crowd, and we stacked the people in there, and we got 25 people on the table.
On one table?
Yeah.
It's about the size, if it's the table I'm seeing now, it's about the size of a coffee table, it looks like. It's a little stronger, I'm sure, to hold 25 people.
Yeah.
Is that sort of the world record?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
Is it really?
Uh-huh. And I think they're in the Guinness Book of World Records for it. They are.
Okay, so we're going to put folks on the table in a minute. What's the other event that we have coming up?
And then we have the horizontal bar, which is, I feel, one of the most exciting events in gymnastics because there's a lot of height and danger involved. So it's a real good one. Now on this table, what's kind of unique is they just don't jump onto it. They're all going to do front flips onto the table.
Is that what's coming up right now?
Yeah, they're getting ready to do it.
And tell what's the record again? 25? Is that what you got?
26.
26
is the record.
Okay.
So everybody's shooting for that. Hopefully they can make it.
We'll see. This will be interesting.
It will be.
It looks like Don Robinson's going to get involved in this one too, huh?
Yeah, he's the first one on the table.
Okay. There he goes.
There he goes. Well, he had a little miss there.
Did he miss the table?
Well, we have a beautiful volunteer that is going to marry one of the guys on our team. I wish it was me. This is Teresa. She's going to help us stay up on that table.
Okay, they're going to get ready to go. Hopefully, Coach will be able to stay on the table this time.
He seems to be the weak link here, huh? Is this an Arizona State University invention, this particular event?
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. An innovation of coaches.
Coaches first.
Okay, let's see. He's concentrating hard. Front. Oh! That was a close one.
Okay, we're underway.
All right, here we go. There's two.
3. The crowd is counting. This is where I was going to say. This is where you want small gymnasts, isn't it?
Yeah. We try to build a big base. We have a little philosophy behind it, believe it or not. We try to build a wide base on the table and everybody interlocks arms. Then we stick as many people we can in the middle, down underneath, and then we save the lightest people for last and try to put them up on top. Then the fun part is watching them come down. What they do is they just stack until they fall. That's 11 on the right now. Whoa!
Close, close.
As you can see, the front flips on makes it even more difficult.
Yes. Where are we at now? Was it 11, 12?
12.
So we're just halfway there. It looks awfully crowded already.
Yep. But.
Uh-oh, this is a big fellow.
Yeah. Whoa!
16.
So you can see they're like really holding on right there.
How big is that table? It looks like it's about 4 by 4 or
Yeah.
4.5 by 4.5. It's not very big.
No, not at all. And I'll tell you, when you come down off of this, your arms are so tired because
I
you've
bet
been
from holding on.
Yeah, for about 5 or 10 minutes. Whoa. I think they're getting a little shaky up there.
There's a leg hanging off the back here. I don't know. He seems to be sliding away.
Oh.
19.
This is where you got to be determined.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're getting the girls on.
We're getting the smaller ones. This is better.
That's 20. All right. I think they're going to quit there. And there they go. Crash. Oh.
We're going to go on back down now to Ted Simons for another interview. Teddy, come on in.
All right, we've got Lorena Reed, and you're from the coast.
Yes, San Diego.
And you're the co-captain of the women's team?
Huh?
How are they doing this year?
They're doing really well. Our last 3 meets, we've scored over 147, which is over 9.0 average in every event. and everyone's been hitting their set, and we've just been scoring really well.
Okay, now how did you get started in gymnastics?
Well, from a YMCA team in San Diego, I just kind of started tumbling on mats. My mom threw me in a little club, and then I watched TV and saw Olga Corbett, and I was really impressed with.
I was going to ask that. When little girls see that, did they really get excited by that and really want to go out and do it?
Definitely. You can see little girls that come out and little boys that watch these little demonstrations, and all they want to do is get up and try the same thing, you know. It's really motivational to see gymnastics and to be part of it.
And what's your area of expertise out here?
Well, my best event is probably vaulting and floor, usually. Vaulting's real quick, so I like to do floor, too.
And how often during the week do you practice? You must put in an awful lot of time.
We go 3 to 4 hours, 5 to 6 days a week. You know, during competition, we try to keep it to just 5 days a week to give our bodies a rest during the weekend. But during preseason, we train really hard. We do nautilus, we lift weights, we try to keep in shape really well.
Okay, now, as far as the equipment now, we noticed some of the guys were wearing these wrist things on their wrists. Do the girls wear those also?
Yeah, definitely. They're called hand grips, and they're little pieces of leather, and you put them on your hands, and it helps your hands stick to the bars more. You know, you won't, instead of having your bare hand, you have the piece of leather, so you won't slip off.
Okay, and I asked some of the guys this, and they admitted it. There was a little bit of fear going on up there when you're doing all these flips and flops and...
Yeah, it is scary, but, like, that little adrenaline you get from the fear helps you complete the tricks and, you know, kind of protects you, gives you a little bit more energy and stuff.
Now, you put an awful lot of time into this. What do you see for the future?
For me, I'd like to finish out a collegiate year of gymnastics, hopefully be an All-American some year. You know, this year I'm really trying real hard. All 4 of my events are about the same, equal. I score about 9 in every event. I'm just going to try really hard and hit at nationals, and if our whole team does, I know we can win.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Back up to you, Joe, for some more gymnastics action.
Ted, thank you. Did you see right down below us here a fellow with an Iowa State shirt on? Do you think he's a gymnastics spy from Iowa State? I know they're one of the powerhouses in the country. He's probably here taking notes and making certain that he goes back and informs the folks on how ASU's team is looking. Let's give me some details about what we're seeing on the screen right now, Jeff. This is a beautiful event.
Yeah, this is horizontal bar, and this is Bill Ryden. He's one of the high bar specialists. Right now, these are called giant swings, and he's winding up for a dismount. And that's a double back with a full twist.
This is one of the most dangerous events, you said, too, because folks really have a lot of torque as they fly around that bar, don't they?
Right, exactly. Also, they're starting to do more death-defying tricks. One trick they do is they do a giant swing, which is this swing around the bar with your body straight. Then they let go and do a flip and regrasp the bar. Oh. And the chances of error are just incredible.
There's a close-up of the hands, too. We can see that they have their gloves and so forth.
Right, they wear those grips just for protection of the hands so they don't rip the skin, and also just to hold on better to the bar.
If they missed that bar here at Fountain Hills, they could wind up in the lake the way they there. Who do we have here?
This is Greg Maltby. Greg's been doing extremely well for us this year, and he's the nation's top scorer right now on the horizontal bar event. So we're hoping that he will definitely be an All-American this year and possibly the national champion.
He looks very strong, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Strong upper body.
Now, before he does the double, we want you to notice that he's going to hang on with only one arm.
Okay, now what Greg's going to do is something that was just introduced into the gymnastics scene about half a year ago. It's called a one-arm giant. And you just hold on with one hand and hope that you get around.
He's going to do that right now?
Yeah, he's going to do a whole routine. This is his mount. It's called a stalter. Okay, now here it is. One-arm giant. Oh, that is so tough. Woo. Okay, these are called inverts, and actually a dislocation of the shoulders. He lifts the head in. It's a real pretty
That's exactly
trick.
what would happen to me if I tried that.
Dislocate your shoulders.
Yes, probably, both of them and several other parts of my body. Look at that. Wonderful performance.
As a double back in the straddle position.
Terrific stuff. Let me thank a couple of folks here once again, too, because our transmission from the site here at Fountain Hills today is not easy because we need to go over the mountains and so forth, and we have microwave and transmission help from KPNX, Channel 12, News Director Al Buck there, KTVK, Channel 3, News Director Jack Jacobson is the station manager, and we have a lot of support from those folks, as well as from Active Cable Television with Bruce Merrill, Al Scharf, Bob Wilson, and Steve Close. We want to thank you very much for providing those services today that allowed us to get the signal from Fountain Hills to our transmission site. We're just about to leave the scene here. We'll be back in about a half hour or so for Championship Frisbee. But it's been a delightful hour and a half. We've had a chance to watch the skydivers coming down, and they were absolutely beautiful. And the gymnasts for the last 45 minutes or so have been real crowd pleasers here. The crowd has enjoyed the performance very much with ASU's 4th-ranked gymnastics team. And Jeff Knepper, I want to thank you for being with me. We wish you a lot of good luck on your recovery of your injury. And hope we see you back on the action again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and now back to Channel 8's fine programming.